negative $1,409. This is day 12 of a $0 to $100 million channel, and we made a bit of progress today. I'm going to title this one Market Manipulation, because not much actually happened today. I found some money lying in an old bank account that I haven't used in ages, so that's where a lot of it came from. But I also got a little bit extra from my stocks, and so I wanted to talk a little bit about what stocks I'm currently in, what my thesis behind them is, and what I'm kind of planning on doing stock and passive investment wise over the next couple of months. So, to start with, currently I've got 2 long-term investments and 1 investment that I'm just still holding in the hopes and prayers that it comes back up to the price that I bought it at. And so, first of all, the one that I don't want to hold on to is the American Airlines stock. Not because it's a bad company or anything, but just it was part of my old strategy, not part of my new strategy. My new strategy fundamentally revolves around the idea that an asset is something that puts money in your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. So most stocks, they're not liabilities unless you owe money on the stock. Like if you have a margin loan to buy stock, then the margin loan is a liability, which is based on the stock. But it's not an asset either, because if it does pay you a little dividend, by the time you pay out tax and you've got so many shares of it that you paid so many brokerage fees on, it's like, it's not really producing that much income for you relative to the amount of risk and money that you've taken on. So, given how the market is at the moment, which appears to be like this, I've decided that I'm going to take a strategy where, look, I'm still going to take on risk. I don't feel like I can avoid that reality. But the risk that I take on, I decided I wanted to be rewarded handsomely for it, and I wanted it to be something real. A friend of mine sent me the clip from Wolf of Wall Street where I can't remember the character's name, but I can't even remember the actor's name if I'm being 100% honest. But the guy is like, it's a fugazi, a fugazi, or it's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's a... And he's like, the thing about stockbrokers is that we don't do anything real. We're not making anything, we're not doing anything. All that we do is promise bigger returns later. So the client never gets like their stock out. All right, you want to keep reinvesting the stock, and we take home what's real, which is the commissions. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about the assets, what put money in your pocket, and I was thinking about the idea that active income buys passive income buys everything. So luxuries, expenses, you want all of that to be paid for with passive income, and then you just stack passive income with all of the massive amounts of active income that we're going to bring in over the course of this challenge. So, all of my active income, or as much as I can muster away, pretty much goes into one of 2 stocks at the moment. The first stock is the YieldMax universe of funds. Also, I should say this is not financial advice and not a solicitation to buy any index or securities, yada yada yada, legalese. This is just what I'm doing. Consult with a financial advisor before listening, I guess. Anyways, so YieldMax is where YieldMax universe of funds, basically all of the YieldMax funds give off a dividend, weekly to monthly to annually, I think. And then every time that they give out a dividend, this fund returns 100% of that dividend to you. So there's a 1% management fee. It happens, it's unavoidable. And what it'll do for me is basically most of the large companies, and especially the large volatile companies. There will be an index, they'll buy the stock, they'll sell covered calls. If the stock goes up, they make money because the stock went up. If the stock goes up by a little bit, but not quite enough, they make heaps of money. And if the stock goes down, then it's unlimited downside, but slightly de-risked by the act of selling the covered calls. Not de-risked. Don't know what the word would be. But they sell the covered calls, they make instant profit, and then the only question really is whether that instant profit ends up being a loss overall, or ends up being the maximum possible profit, which would be the stock closes right on the expiry date. Lots of complicated option stuff that, if I'm being 100% honest, I understand maybe 80% of, and the other 20% is why they take a 1% management fee. So YieldMax Universe of Funds is number one. Number two is I have a extra holding in the YieldMax Tesla short. The only reason for that is that towards the start of the year, there was that market implosion, and Tesla went like into a third of its market cap at the start, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And then not much really fundamentally changed with the company, but then they tripled back up to where they were, and I was like, that seems suspect. And Elon has Twitter beef with the President of the United States. Can't imagine that going too well. So I took out this short dividend ETF, which has been paying out quite nicely, and I've broken even on it, so win-win. Oh no, my pen. So yeah, that's pretty much my stock plan, is I just want those weekly dividends. They come crashing into my account every single week, and currently I've got enough YieldMax that it can pretty much pay the rent for me. And, you know, this last dividend, it ended up being a week and like 2 days worth of rent. So I consider that a huge success. And with the exchange rate being how it is, and the Australian dollar getting relatively weaker to the deflating US dollar, I'm a pretty happy chappy when it comes to, I put 30 grand-ish in the stock. It spits out like $400. Everyone's happy. That's rent paid for. Job done. This one is called market manipulation because the stock market went down. However, overall, this investment strategy over the past month, even though like something happened in America and the stock market went down by about 1.5% yesterday, this strategy over the course of the month has outperformed the stock market by like 2 and a bit percent. Tesla went down, which is awesome. So we went up by like 1.5% on half of the assets, and I am a happy chappy. So overall today, apologies, I fixed the website and I've figured out smartlead.ai. It is working in the background, it is doing its thing, it is magic. I'm gonna do tomorrow's one, and I think I will title it Sophistication, because I very much want to talk about that. Did not do my cold calls today. I apologize. That will happen, but today was just not the day because I did an extra 2 hours, probably more like 3 hours on my work shift today. I was scheduled for a break, didn't end up taking a break. Ouch. Oh well. And the last thing that I wanted to mention is my super account has gone up. So in Australia, it's kind of like a 401k for the Americans watching. But we've got our superannuation fund, and I forgot, but every time that I get a paycheck, work will also pay it into that super fund. So that's gone up relatively substantially in the background, and I fully forgot about it. So I had to add that in, and that's how we made $200 today. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I know this was a bit of a long one, very rambly. I apologise for that. But tomorrow we will continue on with our quest. And if you are watching this so far, it means that you're a big fan. So like, comment, subscribe, like, comment, subscribe, like, comment, subscribe. And if you have any ideas for how I can improve this series and this idea, I would love to hear them. Please do let me know. I would massively appreciate any support that you can give me. And we're up to 58 subscribers so far, which is mind-bogglingly crazy because I haven't even been doing this for 58 days. So I'd like to thank you so much for your time. I'm truly humbled and grateful, and I hope that I'm inspiring you on your $100 million journey. And yeah, have a great day, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you tomorrow.